Welcome to the class on exceptional children. In this topic, we will have a discussion on children who are exceptional. The first part deals with meaning and definition of exceptional children, characteristics of exceptional children, classification of exceptional children, education for exceptional children, special education, integrated education and inclusive education. Exceptional children. The term exception stands for a separate and in many ways a distinct category or class of children who have markedly above average or below average traits and characteristics which makes them fundamentally different from the general or average children. These children begin to demonstrate signs of their exceptionality from their very birth or during the developmental stages. They race ahead or lag behind in terms of natural growth and development in various dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, social and moral, etc. They exhibit symptoms of maladjustment when compared to the average children in the ways and means of their upbringing and education. If we consider only the disabled in India, they are about 35 millions, which is more than the total population of many countries in the world. If we include the figure of superior exceptional in the total, that figure will be very much alarming, requiring huge investment on teaching and rehabilitation of such people. Definitions of exceptionality. The term exceptional children have been defined in many ways by authors and researchers. According to Telford and Sorey, the term exceptional children refers to those children who deviate from the normal in physical, mental, emotional or social characteristics to such a degree that they require special social and educational services to develop their maximum capacity. S.A. Kirk in his book Educating Exceptional Children has given this definition. An exceptional child is he who deviates from the normal or average child in mental, physical and social characteristics to such an extent that he requires a modification of school practices or special educational services or supplementary instruction in order to develop to his maximum capacity. In the words of Crow and Crow, the term atypical or exceptional is applied to a trait or to be a person possessing the trait if the extent of deviation from normal position of the trait is so great that because of it the individual warrants or receives special attention from his fellows and his behavior, responses and activities are thereby affected. Characteristics of exceptional children. These definitions highlight the following characteristics of exceptional children. Exceptional children deviate markedly from the average children. They deviate markedly from the average people in both directions, plus and minus of mean, physically, psychologically, intellectually, emotionally, socially, and these deviations are significant to such an extent that their adjustment with the normal in some situations becomes difficult. Exceptionality is manifested by performance that is superior or inferior to that of the average children. They come across learning difficulties in normal setting due to their defects and sometimes due to their superior qualities. If they are retarded or disabled in any area, their performance will be lower than the normal children, and if they are superior in any trait significantly, the performance will be higher. Exceptional children are those for whom uniform educational programs do not suit and who need special instructional programs or ancillary services or both. Classification of exceptional children. Exceptional children can be of many types. They may be gifted, talented, creative, slow learner, underachiever, maladjusted, delinquent and handicapped, physical, intellectual, social and emotional. We will see two types of classifications first and then move on to particular types. There are many types of classification of exceptional children. Here we will have two main types of classification. one on the basis of general welfare and educational angle for the proper adjustment and development of the children. Second, on the basis of area or mode of deviations of the exceptionals. In the first classification, considering general welfare and educational angle for the proper adjustment and development of the children, the following types of children are usually included in the term exceptional children: physically disabled or handicapped children, mentally disabled or mentally handicapped children, gifted children, creative children, delinquent or socially handicapped children, emotionally disturbed children, learning disabled children, backward children or slow learners. By considering area or mode of deviations, the exceptionals can be classified into the following categories: intellectual deviance. Intellectual deviance may be in both directions from the mean. Mentally retarded come in the minus side, whereas gifted and creative come in the plus side from the mean. Mental retardation. They are less than 90 IQ on any intelligence test. They have special learning needs in areas requiring functional use of intelligence and adaptive behavior. About 0.96% of the school-going children are classified in this category. Giftedness and creativity. These children possess IQ more than at least 110. Creatives differ from gifted in the sense that they perform in superb manner in one or two selected areas in original manner. These children have special learning needs in areas requiring functional use of intelligence and artistic ability. About 3% of the school-going children come under this category. Sensory deviance. Here comes the deaf and dumb and visually impaired. There may be the people without the sense of taste or touch, but we are not concerned with these people because they do not pose any social problem and hence they are not discussed in the category of exceptionals. Visual impairment. The children who legally come under this category are those whose visual acuity is either 0, blindness, or less than 6.60 after correction, semi-blindness. These children have special learning needs in areas requiring functional use of vision. About 0.4 to 0.6% of the school-going children have been detected as visually impaired. Hearing impairment. Audible capacity of these children is very low. Due to this reason, they have special learning needs in areas requiring functional use of hearing. About 0.11% of the school-going children suffer from this problem across the world. Motor deviance. Crippled, orthopedically handicapped, speech defectives or epileptics come under this deviance. Speech impairment. Speech impairment is closely associated with hearing impairment because speech learning requires hearing. If speech development is nil or very close to nil, speech therapy or lip reading or reading on fingers is needed. Orthopedic impairment. These children have special learning needs in areas requiring functional use of hands, arms, feet, legs or other locomotive body parts. About 1% of school-going population is found to be orthopedically handicapped in India. Personality deviance. Here, children suffering from behavioral disorders and learning disabilities are included. For example, children suffering from neurosis and psychosis face serious problem of adjustment in social situations. Learning disabilities. These children have special learning needs in areas requiring functional use of listening, speaking, reading, writing, reasoning and arithmetic skills. This is the largest category in special education in terms of percentage. About 4% of the school-going children suffer from this problem. These children are normal in intelligence even if they are very poor in learning. Emotional disorders. These children lack proper emotional and social skills when they are treated by their peers, mates and teachers in a prejudiced manner. They become more disturbed emotionally, and hence they need special attention by the teacher. Educational deviance. They are significantly different from the normals in academic achievement due to a variety of reasons in both directions. Educationally bright. Achievement level of these students is very high due to high level of adaptability to learning, assimilation of thoughts, understanding and memory. They can learn any subject matter in no time and they retain it for a long period of time. Though educational intelligence is directly related to intelligence, yet intellectually gifted and educationally bright children are not the same. The reason is that high achievement in school may be due to some other reasons like future aspiration of students, high motivational level, hard labor done by pupils, etc. Educationally backward. These children are backward to their age mates by 2 or 4 years or grade in the field of education. This backwardness may be due to a number of reasons such as defective teaching learning process, low intellectual ability of learners, adjustment or emotional problems in the school, etc. These children need special treatment by the teacher in the classes, and if problem is very serious, special classes should be arranged for them. Communication disorders. These children are very poor in understanding the views of others and equally deficient in communicating their opinions to others, either due to low level of intelligence or due to poor level of concentration power to the subject matter. Social deviance. Juvenile delinquents, young criminals and maladjusted students come under this category. Ethnic minorities and culturally suppressed people also come under this category. They deviate from the social norms due to a variety of reasons and constitute educational and social problems. Maladjusted children. These children fail to adjust in their family, in the school and in the society and create problem of adjustment for others also. If they are not properly dealt with, they will remain disturbed and lead an isolated life. Deprived children. Feeling of deprivation develops in a child only after experiencing social, economic, educational and cultural inequalities. Juvenile delinquents. These young criminals are antisocial elements in the sense that they violate the social norms and legal structure. Committing crime is a fun for them. Traumatic brain injury. These injuries are caused by an external physical force or by an internal defect such as strokes. Children who are born with brain injuries are not included in this category. Multiple deviances. Many exceptional people deviate from the normal in more than one area. A blind man can be deaf also, or personality deviance is associated with multiple deviances. Such multiple exceptionality is an automatic process. For example, a sensory handicapped child is very badly treated by some people in the society. The exceptionals react to these behaviors very negatively and in a very hateful manner, and thus social deviance is slowly developed. These students have special learning needs in more than one area. Education for exceptional children. Special education. Bob Algozin defines special education in the following words. Special education is an instruction designed for students with disabilities or gifts and talents who also have special learning needs. Some of these students have learning difficulty in regular classrooms. They need special education to function properly in schools. Others do well in general classrooms, but they need special education to help them master certain skills to reach their full potential in the school. The very term special education includes all aspects of education which are applied to exceptional children. As generally considered, special education is not a total program which is entirely different from the education of ordinary children. Rather, it includes those aspects of education which are specific in addition to the regular program for all children. Need and importance of special education. Education of the exceptional children should receive special attention on account of the following reasons. exceptional children do not get proper motivation in regular classroom work as they need different treatment. Exceptional children may develop behavior problems if their specific needs are not properly attended to. Principle of equality demands that all children must be provided equality of opportunity so that they develop their potentialities to the maximum level. Education of the exceptional children will enable them to be self-supporting economically. Special education will train children to become useful members of the society. Several categories of children, that is deaf, the dumb and the blind, need special curriculum, methods of teaching, instructional materials, etc., which can be provided only in schools. Objectives of special education. Through special education for exceptional children, we can serve the following purposes: personal and emotional adjustment. Handicapped are generally disliked, disregarded and misbehaved by the normal people in India. Thus, exceptionals have to perform double function. On one hand, they have to rise above their disability and do something to make themselves productive members of the society, and on the other hand, they have to fight the social wars waged against them. Through special education, they are told how they can adjust socially and emotionally in a society antagonistic to them. Placement. When we teach special skills to them through special education for earning livelihood, they will not remain a burden or parasite on the society. Social integration. Efforts are made to integrate them with the normal people and helping them with the special facilities and developing their confidence. Intellectual growth. Efforts are made to solve the social and behavioral problems through special education so that the intellectual growth of handicapped individuals is ensured. Vocational adjustment. Through this education, the handicapped are taught which vocation is suitable to them, keeping in view their limitations. Mass mobilization. Through this education, the handicapped people are taught how they will convince the masses in their own favor and how they will change their behaviors in the interest of the exceptionals. Fulfilment of educational needs. Exceptionals are no less than 4% of the total population in any community or country. They also have the right to get education like others. If they cannot be educated in normal setting, it is the duty of the state to educate them through special education programs. Only then the concept of universalization of education will turn into reality. Integrated education. The very term integration signifies the process of interaction of disabled children and normal children in the same educational setting. Of course, there are two separate terms which are very often synonymously used with integration. These terms are mainstreaming and normalization. Mainstreaming refers to integrating handicapped or disabled children into regular classes and helping them through specialized techniques. Sometimes integration is interchangeably used with normalization. The reason is that in integrated education, the disabled children are treated with normal children. Moreover, integrated education is an educational program in which exceptional children attend classes with normal children either on a part or full-time basis. Such a combination may be taken as social integration or academic integration or both. Importance of integrated education. Many of the educationalists nullify the idea of special education on the grounds that it never equalizes educational opportunities. Rather, it creates a feeling of differentiation among children. Special classes create a feeling of inferiority complex among disabled children. Recently, psychologists think that integrated education should be introduced in our educational system to provide educational opportunity for education of all children. Educationists justify this type of education under following points: normal mental growth is possible, social integration is ensured, academic integration is possible, principle of equality is maintained. Now we have to discuss about the role of a teacher in special and integrated education. No doubt, the education of exceptional children either in special school or in an integrated setup depends on the efficiency of the teacher. The following steps are noteworthy for effective teaching. Problems of children should be intimated to the parents by the teacher within a minimum span of time. Records of every child should be maintained properly by the teacher so that a program of action can be executed immediately. A teacher must have a clear concept of special education and integrated education. Remedial teaching programs should be worked out by the teachers which may be conducive for children with special educational needs. A teacher should prepare instructional materials to teach in integrated setups. Cooperation of either faculty members must be sought by the teacher to provide best possible education for disabled children. Inclusive education, making space for all. Inclusive education has been the subject of heated debate in professional journals. Inclusive education has emerged as a reform in the education of children with special needs. In democratic country like ours, every child has a right to education. All children should be given an equal opportunity to learn to the limits of their capacities. For achieving this purpose, we have to provide an education, that is, inclusive education, a type of education that meets the needs of children. Inclusive education means welcoming all children without discrimination into regular or ordinary schools. It refers to the process of educating all children in their neighborhood school regardless of the nature of their disabilities. Inclusive education provides appropriate support services and supplementary aids for everyone involved in the inclusion process. The goal of inclusion is to prepare students to participate as full and contributing member of the society. Now let us summarize what we have discussed so far. In this session, we have discussed about exceptional children and their peculiarities. They were classified into two ways. One on the basis of general welfare and educational angle for the proper adjustment and development of the children, and second on the basis of area or mode of deviations of the exceptional. We also discussed about three main types of educational provisions provided for these children, that is special education, integrated education and inclusive education. On the basis of the topics discussed, here are some assignments. Prepare a chart showing the classification of exceptional children. Visit some special schools in your area and prepare a report on the educational programs provided to the children in that school. Conduct interview with teachers in regular schools and make a report on the problems faced by them while implementing the inclusive education program. Prepare some teaching materials suitable for any category of exceptional children. Here are some books for further reading. Advanced Educational Psychology by S.S. Chauhan, published by Vikas Publishing House in 1985. Exceptional Children, Their Psychology and Education by Chintamani Kar, published by Sterling Publishers in 1992. Advanced Educational Psychology by S.K. Mangal, published by Prentice Hall of India, 1997. Essentials of Educational Psychology by S.K. Mangal, published by Prentice Hall of India in 2007. Special Education Pearson Series in Education, published by Darling Kindersley Private Limited in 2012. Special Learning and Adjustment Problems of Handicapped Children, written by Wallace Wallim and Oliver Colstow, from the book Educational Psychology by Charles E. Skinner, 4th edition, published by Phi Learning Private Limited, 2009. Let us conclude now. Thanks for watching the program.